All right, let's dive into something that, let's be honest, hits pretty close to home for almost all of us. Why is being disciplined so ridiculously hard? Today, we're going to get into the real reasons why we struggle and, more importantly, find a way smarter way to think about it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the start of the year, or maybe just a Monday, and you are pumped. You've got your goals all lined up, you're going to hit the gym, eat better, learn that new language. But a week later, that motivation is just gone. If that sounds a little too familiar, trust me, you are in very, very good company. And here's the thing, it's so important to get this. That feeling of starting strong and then fizzling out is not some personal flaw. It's not a you problem. It's a totally human experience. It's pretty much a universal struggle for everyone. So what do we usually do? We blame ourselves, right? We think, ugh, I just don't have enough willpower, or I'm not strong enough. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if the problem has nothing to do with how strong you are and everything to do with the strategy you're using?
So, to come up with a better strategy, you first have to understand what you're up against. And in the battle for discipline, your opponent is, well, your own brain. So let's take a look at the science of why we're so good at putting things off.
This right here totally flips the script. The myth we've all been sold is that discipline is just about gritting your teeth and using brute force. But the reality? Our brains have been wired over millions of years for one thing: survival. And that means they're programmed to do two things really well: get a reward right now and save energy whenever possible. Your brain isn't lazy, it's just incredibly efficient. And this breaks down those two main programs. First, you've got the instant gratification bias. That's your brain choosing the cookie right in front of you over the long-term benefit of getting in shape. Then you have the path of least resistance. Your brain will always prefer the easy way out to save fuel. So you see, you're not fighting laziness. You're fighting the super powerful, ancient survival instinct.
Okay, so if brute force is a losing game, then what actually works? Well, you have to work with your brain's programming, not against it. And that means making a huge shift in how you think, from trying to make these giant heroic leaps to just taking tiny, consistent steps.
And the magic number is right here, it's 1%. Just one. Forget about this idea of transforming your life overnight. The real goal is to get just 1% better every single day. I know, it sounds like almost nothing, but this is where the real power's hidden.
And just look at how this math plays out. After one day of a 1% improvement, you'd barely notice. Even after a week, it's not a huge deal. But that's when the magic of compounding kicks in. Look at what happens after a year. That tiny, daily effort has snowballed, and you end up almost 38 times better than where you started. That's the mind-blowing power of what we call atomic habits. This quote from James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, just nails it perfectly. Having goals is great. You know, they give you a direction. But it's your systems, the little things you do every single day that actually get you there. When you have a great system, progress just becomes the default setting.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do we actually do this? Let's get into the practical side of things, the actual toolkit you can use to build systems that make good habits feel almost automatic.
So one of the absolute best techniques is called habit stacking. It's so brilliant because it uses your brain's love of the easy path. All you do is find a habit you already do without thinking, like making your morning coffee. And then you just stack your new, tiny habit right on top of it. The formula is as simple as it gets. After I do my current habit, I will do my new habit.
But here's the absolute key. You have to make that new habit so easy, it's almost impossible to say no. I'm talking ridiculously small. Not, I'm gonna do 20 push-ups. No, you're just gonna do one push-up. You're not gonna meditate for 20 minutes. You're gonna meditate for 1 minute. The whole goal is to remove all the friction so your brain doesn't even put up a fight. You're building the routine first, you can always add the intensity later on.
And when you put all this together, it leads to a whole new mindset. See, discipline isn't some test of your character or measure of your willpower anymore. It's an engineering problem. Your job is to simply design a system for yourself where doing the right thing is also the easiest thing.
So let's just quickly run through the key takeaways. First, stop trying to muscle your way through with willpower. It's just not a reliable source of fuel. Second, think small. Focus on those tiny 1% improvements every day and let them compound. Third, be the architect of your habits. Design your systems to make the good choices easy. And finally, use habit stacking to link new habits to routines you already have. So I want to leave you with this one question. Forget about next month or even next week.
What is the one tiny, ridiculously small action you can take today to get just 1% better? The whole journey of discipline doesn't start with some giant leap tomorrow. It starts with one tiny step right now.